to?
The tents.
We got to get in there to set fire to them.
People have magic.
And, okay, none of my magic is guaranteed to create fire.
Well, that's kind of your fault, isn't it? Also, we don't need something to create fire. We have fire. We need to move the fire.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, there's fire in all these cabins. Just have something that will, cause them to. Sorry, I know it's just placement, but also this guy is literally cooking himself on that fire in the central bit there.
No, it's fine. He loves it.
Warm toasty. There are hot coals and things we could just throw at a tent.
Oh,
They'll go.
I forgot something. Hold on. Sorry, chat.
What, the name of the session?
No, the name of the session's fine. I need to quickly go to my channel real quick. Yes, I'm live. Hello, me. So, let's see. What do we have queued up here?
Oh.
Sudz! Sudz, no! As the big bird turns back up. And Sudz enabled this.
Okay, ones that I
I'm confused. What's going on?
Okay, so, as of Sudz's last request... okay.
What was my last request?
I'm pretty sure you summoned another boss.
Okay, that's a roll of a 1. Followed by a roll of a 3. Let's put 3 more of you down. And then for the sludge haulers, roll of a 1. So there's 1 sludge hauler in here somewhere.
I forgot about that.
Let's put in there. Alright, there we go.
So mark those 2 as done?
That's your spawn minions redeemed. There you go, Sudz.
Wonderful. Not only is Kay trying to kill himself, but Sudz is trying to kill us all.
So, hello everybody.
Thank you.
I'm trying to make things interesting. I have points to spend, and I will spend them.
Yeah, that's true. So, hello and welcome to Crabby D&D. I'm here with my players, Cat.
Hi.
Kirv.
That's literally the sound that you're going to get after next session when we've all died.
Rebecca. Well, we've lost one.
It's the minions.
She'll be back eventually. Okay.
Greetings.
Vinny.
Hello.
And Romulus.
Greetings.
Okay. Well, I think we should just get straight on with this, don't you? Welcome back, everyone. It's too hot, and I otherwise forgot to prepare a proper introduction, so... Our party of adventurers, Cat, Kay, Kirv, Romulus, and Vinny, had ditched their friendly neighbourhood Corsair and begun scouting the Skull Bandits' camp the day after. Seeing the large numbers in the fortified position, the party have otherwise begun to conduct a plan in order to enter, infiltrate, and possibly assassinate whoever may be inside. But let's see what they have going on, shall we? So, each of you currently waits about 150 feet away from the camp close to the mountainside on the right of the map currently. You have seemingly gone unnoticed, as it currently stands, and you are otherwise have watched the suspected leader of this dwarven brigade ride up the mountain on the back of a rather large, strange-looking demonic creature. Covered in eyes over the top of its head, 2 large kind of leathery wings with fur and kind of just feathers poking out from the ridges where its skeletal structure would be along the wing line, as it otherwise flies up and into along the mountain edge with its rider on its back. What do you do?
Cry. Okay. How are we getting in?
I think Mold Earth is our only good option for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which we plan to use to bypass the camp itself and head into the cave.
Yeah, that's the plan. I think the biggest issue here is going to be how are we going to get past the towers that are on looking our journey in. I mean, we only really need to worry about 2, no matter what direction we come in from.
So glad you added from there.
Do the watchtowers have a 360 view, or are they like specifically geared for outwards?
The appearance of them seems that they have a 360 view. They have what looks to be these sections of almost carve out where it's supported going upwards, and then you could pull a piece of fabric up to kind of block weather or something similar from getting on the interior. But otherwise, you can see that they are almost all pulled down in the nice weather that we're currently having. I believe it is, actually, let me double check what the weather conditions are currently. Actually, no, it is lightly raining currently. So you note that a few of them are otherwise closed against whatever direction the wind is heading, which is down the mountain currently. So any which are on the northern side seem to be closed off.
Seems like coming in from the mountain might be our best chance of cover. Going around, following the edge.
Yeah. For reference for you, Romulus, I removed the drawing, but let's say that this is the camp here with the palisade wall here. The mountain is a near sheer cliff here, and then it slowly and kind of gradually goes up, but it is quite sheer. So to get a proper foothold on this would be incredibly difficult for most of you, but something that is possibly doable.
So it's probably only this tower that needs to be distracted.
If we were to come in from that direction.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you mentioned digging underneath with mold earth. Is that on the card still?
Yes.
Okay. These are not, these are not permanent structures. As you can see, they're made of wood. That whilst they will, of course, have foundations built in, those probably would have been stakes driven into the ground. That's something we could quite easily mess with from underneath. I'm wondering if it might not be possible to collapse the towers into the other tents and stuff, thus creating a big distraction and maybe killing people. We don't know. Obviously, it's a bit annoying that it's lightly raining, but if
as a general note,
enough fuel falls on the fire, then
we went through and had a look through mold earth to make sure of these things. It can't affect stone, and it can't, but it can affect loose earth. So if it's packed earth or charred earth or anything like that, it can't be affected. And from what you know, the interior of the camp is loose earth mainly, but around a foundation like for the towers, for example, you would be able to remove the earth with mold earth, but then you can't affect the tower's physical structure. Due to the nature of the spell, you wouldn't be able to collapse the tower because it removes the earth harmlessly without causing any further damage.
But if the foundations are exposed, they can be damaged by other means.
They can be damaged other means, yeah. But it's one of those things that if it's like a packed earth, or if there have been like foundations built into this, then you're looking at a scenario where you're not going to be able to do that as easily, if at all.
I mean, with the timber building, there, proper foundations like stone ones, there just won't be any there. It wouldn't be feasible to set that up. Certainly not cost effective. Although I suppose if they had a mason there, they are dwarves. It's possible. It's unlikely, but it's possible. It would be, if we were tunneling underneath, it would be easy enough to deal with any foundation issues that are under there to to start with, and then attack, deal with it physically, because we have the means to do that.
Of course, all of this requires us to get to the camp in the first place.
Oh, how far out are we?
150 feet.
How long does
We're
it take
close
to
to
mold
that
Earth
point.
in that sort of?
That's not so much the problem. Our problem is how we're gonna get to where we need to start doing the mold Earth. For us to get to where we're gonna start tunneling in, we've got to try and sneak past the tower.
Yeah. So for reference,
Why would you start the tunnel there?
So 150 feet away, casting Mold Earth the whole time. Needs to be done. Effectively, it's going to take around 20 seconds or so to make a hallway that's going to be big enough for Romulus to fit through. Because if Romulus goes through this and touches any of the sides and it collapses, you're all beginning to suffocate. You don't have time to build proper fortifications for this or support. So building a long tunnel is going to be time consuming. That is then excluding the fact that there are hundreds of trees that have been cut down to build this camp around, but the stumps and the roots have been left in place. Meaning that you're going to have to work around those and stone, which means that either you're going to have to make some very high checks on something that you have no idea about, or you're going to be spending potentially days tunneling to this area. Because again, any disturbance to the potential mold Earth will cause it to suddenly start considering structural identity and may collapse, given its loose Earth. So the further away you start it, the higher chance there is of a mishap or things going wrong. But the further away you are, the more confident you can be that you haven't been spotted. It depends on what you want to try.
I mean, we could always attempt the Metal Gear methodology of some sort of
Cardboard box.
not specifically cardboard box, but like some sort of camouflage thing, and then creepingly move it closer and closer. How tall are some of these stumps?
Stumps? I mean, from this distance, it's hard to tell.
A rough thing, like maybe.
I mean, then
more or
they're
less than 5.
less than 5 foot. Yeah. Like some of these were big trees, some of them were quite small. So I'd say at the smallest, you're probably looking at maybe 2 foot tall. Biggest, maybe 3 or 4 almost.
Okay. If we were crawling, all of us, even Romulus, would be under one of the, would be able to fit behind one of the larger ones.
Yeah. So there'd be stealth checks involved. Yeah.
Would be stealth checks, yes, but certainly better than walking up. So we could just sort of like do a belly crawl with something that looks like a stump and maybe some sort of rough grassland looking covering, and then slowly inch our way forward.
Yeah. More specifically, this is heathland, so a lot of this area around here is plain anyway. So you've up until now you've basically been skirting from bush to bush, just avoiding detection.
Yeah.
And currently you're mainly just hiding up against the mountain edge, just to avoid detection.
Okay. Anyone else got any thoughts running at the moment?
Brain smooth.
At the moment, I've got the only thing. I'm gonna try and merge 2 of the eyes together. Do they merge or they just?
No, they just
Cluster.
they squidge together, but then they don't really stick. They just kind of cluster together. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I could probably cluster some of these together as a little distraction, but it won't give us very long.
Oh yeah, for reference, Romulus, Cat pulled a black page from her book, and suddenly 20 eyes spawned, and she has complete control over all of them.
I see everything.
Yes, she has 20 pop-up tabs on all around her vision spectrum, which is allowing her to see everything that's going on. Which means that you are noting that even in this weather, where they are tiny creatures that are very easy to move around, you were, from what you believe, spotted. A number of the guards are otherwise looking into the sky, just kind of keeping a general lookout, it seems.
Okay. Are these things physical? Can things be attached to them?
They're physical and things can be attached to them, but they're about the size of maybe, I don't know, a chestnut. If that. They aren't strong creatures.
About a ping pong ball.
Yes, about a ping pong ball, and that's about their consistency as well, seeing as they are eyeball. They are literally just eyeball. So they have the consistency of one, and therefore will dissolve if given anything heavier than a feather.
I mean, eyes aren't that fragile, but I take your meaning.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no strapping swords to it and having them poised and float over people. That's not doable.
No, I was thinking much stupider things.
Look, I've already started breaking Sam's campaign with
Yeah, no, fair.
certain things. But so that's fair. But yeah.
Oh, come on, you can tell us about it. Like...
No, because you're part of the other team, and you could be our enemies. We don't know yet. We genuinely don't know. Sam has kept it in the dark, so we're going to keep you in the dark about that. So, anyway.
I mean... I've got these, if we could use these to distract that one tower, otherwise... I don't know. I feel blowing a tower up is going to be very obvious.
Okay. How much consideration have we put into the mountain as an option? I have climber's boots and a climber's kit. I have a grappling hook. I can certainly make my way over in that regard if necessary.
It's true, but if we
You have spider climb.
If we jump down, we're going to be very exposed to literally everything in this camp.
And the mountainside has been scouted for additional ways in, I will also state.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna ask you a question here, Chris. And if you haven't thought about it, that's fine. But there must be an answer here.
Okay.
Where do they shit?
What?
Where do they
No,
shit?
this is a valid point. From
Because
what
it's not going to be right in the center of their camp.
Please, I swear to
I'm
God,
seeing
I
a
don't
lot
want to
of
see
places
this.
right next to the edge, so it's not going to be at the edges of their camp. Where do they shit?
I will give you an answer shortly. I need to check the other map to see if because I know that I went through and I made sure that there were spaces for a lot of things. I just need to make sure if there is one on the interior of the, on the interior, then I need to know.
I'm sorry. I'm having so much fun with the sentence. Where did they shit?
You can't see anything from outside.
Oh, I look forward to that.
Okay, that means there's a poop wagon that goes in and out. This is about to be our shittiest infiltration.
Oh no!
So, the only option they can't be shitting in the cave. That's a recipe for methane gas production and just a lot of issues. Yeah. It has to be open air. If we can't see it in the camp, then it has to be outside, or, as you say, it's being gathered and then removed.
Chris is moving things around. What are you doing there, buddy?
You are noting, with the eyes still in the air, that a number of these individuals seem to be kind of going into the tents and hanging out for some time. You know that it has gone past noon at this point, so it's quite possible that individuals here are otherwise heading off for the time being. You see that the main kind of dinner pot has finished, and that there are other individuals kind of going up and climbing into the towers to have either conversations or to join guard duty.
That's a good point. How many is going to be nocturnal? If they're raiding.
Maybe the pig people.
Or not like literally nocturnal, but operating on a night shift.
Yeah.
At
What I will say,
are they Duragar or are they just?
From what you can tell, they are stone-skinned Dwar, and they seem to have kind of a darker complexion to them, which could suggest that they're potentially like cave dwarves. But I will say, without the proper inspection that you haven't really had the time to do. Actually, no, you did interrogate that one guard, so I will say that you, or that one dwarf. I will say that you identify that these individuals are of the stone skin variety, which makes them generally a little bit hardier, but also a little bit slower. And for the most part, these dwarves, from what you can tell, have kind of the darker skin complexion and an essence of kind of corruption to them, which suggests that they are of the more underdwelling variety of dwarf. Yeah. So, you note, I will say, as this has all gone on, the number of people in the camp itself that are not, or that are now present, has decreased, but the number of people in each tower has increased by 1. It seems that there is a level of rotation here. You've seen, out of the 50 troops that you currently roughly see here, you know that there was a wagon of about 20 troops who left, and there's potentially another 1 or 2 scouting crews that are otherwise wandering around in groups of 6 to 10. You were informed that there are about 80 to 100 of these bandits, and that roughly lines up.
Okay, so
There's
we should
obviously
try and do this now.
Agreed.
Well, maybe not now, but
Not soon, before people come back.
True.
Wake up,
Or
whatever the hell.
we can. Do we have to do this today, or can we theoretically extend this?
If you want
Now,
to
if we want to get back to the wizard thing.
Yeah, if you want to get back to the wizard thing, you're going to need to finish this today. Otherwise, you're going to get back to Farganuk, and you're going to be a day late. And then if you get teleported by the court wizard, which may take time, you don't know. You may be able to get straight to the festival, but at that point, you may have already missed a lot of the things which are very important.
Another thing is, the longer we wait round here, the more chance we've got getting caught by scouting parties.
Also true. As you do know, they have been wandering the area, but they aren't thorough. They seem to be keeping a generally kind of a pattern through areas of common hiding spots, it would seem.
Spellcasters, what do we got?
Oh, go. Right, so I'll Spellcast. Yeah. So I've got, I can dig in there. As for anything damaging or will attract attention, I have elemental detonation.
You also have another black page as well.
I do. I kind of.
But that's random, so there's no way of knowing what that one is.
Exactly, that's random and also hurts.
Also true.
Elemental detonation, come on.
Elemental detonation. I'm trying to look see what I've got. So at the moment I've got Mage Hand, Homing Blade, Mold Earth,
What's
Detect
the distance
Magic.
on Mage Hand?
Mage Hand is 30 feet.
Difficult to be impossible.
Mage Armor. I've got Shield, Featherfall, Chaos Bolt. Huh, well, I've still got that going. Alter Self. I can cast that once a day. Spider Form, Sentinel Ward, Pocket Bag, and Lock State. And Elemental Detonation through my rune.
of those spider form and feather fall are the ones currently giving me interest.
Yeah, so true.
Simon, you're up.
Right, I've got thaumaturgy if we want to do something spooky,
Useful.
or dancing lights if we want to attempt to make a distraction, but the distraction would have to come from the direction that we are in both of those cases.
Niche, but there may be options.
Mm-hmm.
Do they both require visual sight?
Believe dancing lights does.
But thaumaturgy perhaps not. Noted.
Well,
Continue.
it depends on what I'm using it for.
That's fair. I was thinking sound.
Maybe.
Noted.
Healing word's not going to be useful for this, nor is mending. Fairy fire. It's very big, very distracting. It's got a long range, but it is still going to be on this side of the wall.
Yeah.
And I need line of sight to do it.
Need line of sight to do it. Okay. Anything else, or is that what we're working with?
Sleep has the longest range. It could probably has a good chance of knocking out a guard. Whether it can neutralize an entire tower is a lot less. Guaranteed.
This is for my own personal clarification. With sleep, it doesn't have concentration, is it? It's just a duration.
Yeah, it's a minute, or if they get woken up.
Okay.
Yeah, damage, or someone can use an action. Darkness is potentially useful, but we can't use it on us very usefully, because they'll still see the big sphere of darkness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you can get it to a tower, then that would be perfect. But it's a question of figuring out how to do that. Thunder Wave is destructive and also attracts attention. Well, that has no range whatsoever, so I can attract attention to me, basically. And Lesser Restoration isn't useful for this.
Yeah, I'll never say never, but probably not.
It might be useful in this mission, but not for this phase
specifically.
of it.
Right, Rebecca, are you here?
Yes, I am here. I also have thaumaturgy, so if we wanted to do work together to make something bigger, that would work. Mind sliver. I mean, I'm afraid most of my range stuff, the highest is 60 foot, and then.
I'm not concerned about range right now. I'm just wanting options.
Yep. Mind sliver.
You can't tell I've gone into monstrous mastermind mode.
No, that's fine.
No, I'm loving it.
That's why we waited till you were here.
Prestidigitation, Mage Hand. I can disguise myself. Curse Binding. Grinding Smite. Sorry. Cloud of Daggers. Spider Form. Detectables. Fear. Fear could be good. I remember doing Fear not too long ago. Fair creatures drop frightened and can only save when outside.
Understood. Okay. I have an idea.
Yes.
So, a significant proportion of the time, like over half of the time it would take for the tunneling, would be taken up because Romulus would be there and my increased size. Is this correct?
Not necessarily just the increased size. We're looking at tree roots getting in the way and needing to remove them out of the way, and potentially otherwise pathfinding, but then not knowing where you are. So Romulus being there effectively doubles the time, but then still having to either go through or around tree roots is going to potentially affect their navigation, which means that I'm going to be asking survival checks. I believe, Romulus, you've been making those because you're the only one with a good survival score.
Not the only one. I think Kay's is fairly decent. Could be wrong about that, but I think so. If not, then I'm sure someone's got a decent one. Right.
Also, to
I'm
add to this,
thinking-
Kay, you also have spells available today, don't you?
Oh,
Sudz?
I was unaware Kay had spells.
Yes, Kay has gained his ability to steal magic, so
Nice.
he has access to some spells. I believe he has access to Counterspell and Dispel Magic, universally, and Metamorph, so he can change one of his or somebody else's appendages into something else. So he can turn an arm into a tentacle, or a chicken foot, or another head. He can do all sorts.
Rough time. If Romulus was not in the tunnel, what would you think is the average time it would take?
Assuming no failures on any of the skill checks,
No, assume some failures.
assume some failures, you may not make it there within the day. If I assume
And assuming none?
assuming no failures, you can probably make it there in about 8 hours.
I lose the eyes at that point.
I mean, it's. I would have thought 150. So it's 5 foot per 6 seconds.
5 foot per 6 seconds per person's height. So it's going to be 10 foot per person for 6 seconds, which is going to be fine. But then you hit a tree root and you have to cut through the tree root.
I thought that was assuming that there were no failures. I thought the failures were.
Oh yeah, it's just going to take time.
Okay.
If you fail on the tree route, you collapse the tunnel and have to redo it.
Oh, okay, I understand now.
So failures are effectively every 2 failures is a hard reset for a large chunk of 50 feet.
Okay. Secondary thing here. We obviously see these pathways that have been made here for the wagons to travel.
Yep.
Those obviously don't have trees on them.
Correct.
And they must connect up to actual roads or be flat for wagons to travel. We've seen wagons coming in and out.
Yes.
That would be our best port of egress, and then it's just a matter of following along. I think
There is, however, no cover during that on those spaces.
Admittedly, but if we're far enough away and we go in, we can cover our tracks back there, and it's not a. I understand the issues. There's not really. It's the best we've got at the moment. I'm thinking one team goes up through the pathways under there, so that there won't be too much tree rootage under normal circumstances, and then the rest of us, specifically, I would say myself and maybe Kirv, try and take the mountainside up and travel upwards. From there, we cause problems. Specifically, I am thinking this is a cliff. If we can cause an avalanche or make them think that there's some sort of avalanche or mudslide or something along those lines, they're going to get concerned. Obviously, we can actually cause one. That'd be fucking great, but hard to, do
Mass
that.
murder.
Hey, I mean, look, that's what we're here for, isn't it? That's my current working idea. Not 100% certain on it, but, I'll work what I got. The other option is a strike team of me, Cat, Kirv, and Vinny all make our way up there, and the others act as distractions. Kay, maybe dependent on what Kay feels they'd be best served doing, which would kind of. I'm not. Wait, are there only 5 of us now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking 6. Oh, of course, because Corsair was here, but he's fucked
Yeah.
off. Oh, that's fine.
No, you
Um,
don't know where Corsair is. He was causing
He
a
might be a
distraction to
prisoner.
allow you to escape.
He might be dead.
You don't
We
know.
don't know.
He might be
Yeah.
dead or a prisoner in this cave.
Or he might have already picked all of our pockets and fucked off.
The
Anyhow,
other thing we know is we don't know what's in this cave. We could walk in there and it could be something absolutely terrifying without you. Might go badly.
can thaumaturgy be used to make a sound louder? If it was used in conjunction with making a sound, could thaumaturgy make the sound even louder?
I'll allow it. Yeah.
I
If
believe
there's
so,
multiple
yes.
if there's multiple casters doing it, or you're doing it in a very specific order, I'll allow it.
Interesting.
Increasing the volume of your voice is
Yeah.
one of the
As a general thing here, for note,
default recommendations.
I will be allowing for flavorful stretching of how your magic works. If you want to come up with a cool idea, I just may either ask for certain skill checks or the expenditure of certain resources, such as additional spell slots, in order to do so.
Okay. So, my thoughts currently are, frankly, going underground may not be the best idea at all. Since K is small and can be carried, and Vinny is the only other one that doesn't have considerable ability in climbing, unless you're holding out on me in some way, then we could very well make our way up even the sheer cliff face. And then, if we can sneak along, a combination of thaumaturgy and thunderwave could be the perfect thing to either cause an avalanche or at least make a sound that sounds as though there is about to be an avalanche. That should get them to either leave the area or fuck off into the cave, at which point I feel like we've got more options. If we can actually cause an avalanche, that would be fucking great, but I don't know if that's entirely possible. God, I wish I'd been able to get a hold of some explosives.
We're trying to get into the cave.
Okay, well, okay, well, I still want to drop rocks on people. We can deal with getting into the cave after.
Times like this, I wish Grove was here.
God, I fucking wish Grove was here. Can you
This is the
fucking
perfect
imagine?
situation for transmute stone.
Yeah. We got to work with what we got, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, that's us lot.
Okay, so if the plan is make a distraction, I would say the best way to capitalize on that would be to use it to just sprint across this 150-foot gap. I know we're vulnerable while doing that, but we'd be even more vulnerable inching our way back down the cliff face.
Oh, that's when Featherfall was going to come into play. Yeah,
I mean, that would speed things up. We'd still be completely out in the open if anyone just looked over in the direction of the cliff face.
And people are currently
Which,
looking
given-
up and around because of them
the
spotting the eyes.
Again, I feel like for killing people, Avalanche is our best bet here, because there
Definitely.
isn't really other options to do that en masse. Other than fire, which unfortunately is slightly raining, which makes that harder. Not impossible, fire is actually quite fucking resilient.
Once it gets started, yes. It's getting it started, which is the harder part. So,
Yeah.
what is the first thing that you wish to do as the party? Or, actually, who rolled random encounter last time? I believe it was Sudz or Simon who rolled last, wasn't it?
I don't think it was me.
Okay. Would you like to roll me a set of 2d6s, please?
Four and one.
4 and 1. Okay. Okay. see. So, during this time, while you're otherwise having this discussion, Cat, you obviously notice the individuals are otherwise heading into bed, and they're otherwise, or going to bed, and a few of them are staying asleep by the looks of it. You're noting that the belly butchers are otherwise going on patrol, and they're just kind of wandering around in a circular pattern, just around the general camp. You otherwise note that one of the guards that's on the main entrance otherwise leaves and comes back. And you otherwise note that a few individuals do head into the cave and then come back out shortly afterwards. So there is a general foot traffic that you do notice. With the roll of a total of 5, you do note that there are scouting parties in the distance of maybe about 6, 7 or so, back to what they originally were, but they're closer to the camp than they were before. Seems the fact that you've escaped multiple times seems to be
Making them closer knit.
making them closer knit.
If we're gonna do it, we're gonna have to do it soon. They're getting closer.
Okay. So, as I see it, this tower is blocked from the north, right? Because of the wind?
Correct.
So they shouldn't be able to see over here very well.
Correct.
So we just need to get this tower looking away for... how long? 30 seconds?
Something like that, yeah.
Give or take, yeah.
As a general note as well, as it works both ways, because of the winds picking up, the imps have now gone into the tower. They're no longer flying overhead.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Inside the tower, they do still have like small fires that are producing light, so they do still have light to work with.
Right.
There are fires
it's-
in the towers.
Small fires, yes.
Okay.
I'm just saying, one mage hand, all it would take.
Yeah, but I've got to get 30 foot to the towers to cast Mage Hand.
Alright, one well-placed Eldritch Blast. Does anyone have fucking Eldritch Blast, please?
Yes.
Not yet.
Fuck yes! Okay.
Sorry, am I casting that now?
I don't know. Simon, I've got the broad strokes. You're point man.
No pressure.
But we're going to have to do something eventually. So, what I'm hearing is shoot at the fire in the tower?
I'll say for a further description, Kat, if you wish to give me a perception check with your eyes, just to see what exactly you're dealing with the fire on the inside of the towers themselves.
This is just a straight roll, isn't it? I can't remember what I get from these eyes.
No, they don't give you any bonuses or anything. It's just as if it were you looking through them.
Well, there you go, that's quite a lot.
Okay.
It's like 19 plus minus
Okay.
1.
Looking into the towers themselves, you can see that the fire is there, but the fire isn't attached to anything. It's not hanging from a lantern, it's not set in a brazier, it's not on the end of a torch. It's floating in the center of the tower. It seems to be some form of magical fire from what you can tell. It is possible to disrupt it and dispel it by that nature. It seems to be almost like a miniature create bonfire spell. But
What?
there doesn't seem to be a movement to it, shall we say. It's not something
Okay.
it's not something that you could push over. I will also state that you... Actually, go ahead and make me an intelligence check for this. This will be more of an understanding of magic to get. So this wouldn't be Arcana, because it's not identifying magic, it's more of just your understanding of spells.
Intelligence, that's +4 to this. This is going to be a bad roll because I've got a good roll.
12?
That's 12.
Okay. You've never used Create Bonfire before, but you are aware that objects that are created floating traditionally aren't attached to anything and so don't move if something else moves with it. In other words, if the tower were to fall, the fire would remain in place and the tower would come down and set itself on fire. Same can be said likewise if something gets shot through it, or if something gets thrown into it.
So, the only other way we can is if anyone else has a bow, looking at Vinny's broken bow, possibly could shoot an arrow to create a fire arrow through it, but that's not going to move. The only way we're going to be able to deal with that is if K either dispels it or eats it. I still don't understand his magic, but there are two options in regards to the fire. If I cast Magic Missile or your Eldritch Blast went through it, I don't think our magics would be affected by it, and our magics wouldn't affect it.
What if...
Hey, you
Is the
around
top-
currently?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, I was just going to say, just to keep you informed, because I don't know how long you've been around, the party were looking at what certain magic things that could be used, and it's just been mentioned about you potentially being able to dispel magic. Do you have the spell points to be able to do that?
Twice.
Twice.
So yes.
So that's 120 feet for reference for the party, should you wish to use that to your advantage.
Okay. Alright, so...
Sorry, that was dispel magic?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
That would
if we
remove the
wanted to
fire.
run at it, we could remove their fire, which would be their source of light, which could distract them for a
A little bit, at least.
I mean, it would
split
hamper their
second.
vision.
Mm-hmm.
What's the... Is our plan... How long... Is our infiltration plan from there to climb over or to go under?
If we're gonna go charge, it's gonna be go under.
Under,
Because
okay.
if we're going over, we could go round slightly further and then climb.
Yeah.
My concern is that we're gonna get caught out. I mean, there's a lot
There's a
that could
lot
be
of
looking
eyes
for us.
around here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Look.
mine not included.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, if we're gonna do it, our best bet might be to charge, put that light out. I have got something, but it might also give us away, and it's costly for me. But I could banish them.
Kirv, did you say you had fear?
Yes.
Is fear an area or an individual?
30-foot cone.
Cone. Alright, here's what I'm thinking. Rush forward, dispel magic on the fire. So darkness happens. It's a struggle for them to look over and see us through. Oh wait, is it because the people are heading to bed now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming the sky is dark-ish at least.
No. It's just past noon.
Okay, well then why the fuck do we care about the fire?
Because it's raining. And it's cloudy.
Okay.
And it's windy.
Overcast.
So it's
Okay.
overcast, yeah. And
Alright.
yeah. There's
I-
a reason
it's still-
you put headlights up when it's raining.
They'd still probably see us once we get too close, though.
Oh, yeah.
If they're looking for us, yes. If they're distracted by their weird magical fire going out, we might have a chance.
Maybe. What's the range on thaumaturgy?
30 feet.
Okay. So, dispel magic. Rush forward. fear cone based around the watchtower. They'll make a distraction for everyone else, and they'll be distracted by the fear cone.
As a general note,
Mm-hmm.
fear requires line of sight from the individuals to know what they are being scared of.
Oh.
Interesting. Could we
If you
just give them a general sense of fear?
If you wanted to give them a general sense of fear, you could. It would give them advantage on their initial save. Alternatively, if you wanted to have the fear be based off of something, say an illusion of some form, or something of a thaumaturgy thing, you can. It will then just require spell checks followed by their saving throws and the illusion that you wish to create using that. So fear on its own won't help in the same manner that
in conjunction with something.
Fear in conjunction with something else will create an illusion which won't draw attention to yourselves. Correct.
Bearing
And of
in
course,
mind that the
if those
range on
two
both
do
of these
see
is
us,
30
then yes. If those two did, if people in the watchtower did see us, at that point, fear as normal would be effective, wouldn't it?
Yes, but it would just be a manner of that they'd notice you, and then there'd be something that they'd be scared of.
That's fair. I just mean it might give us a bit of time of where they'd be like, rather than, telling people what's actually happened.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So-
We'd have to get very close for this to work, though.
Yeah.
And if we can get that close, I know they can see over the wall, but there's got to be a limit to the angle they can see over.
Yeah. No, I get you. So what I was thinking then was do fear in conjunction with thaumaturgy of, with the generic fear of the sound of rocks falling, that any dwarf would be familiar with to some degree, and would be quite rightfully scared of. Is that making a certain amount of sense?
That would be doable, but first we've got to get there. So, what is the plan?
So are we just gonna make a break for it, dispel their fire, and then...
Well, dispelling is 120 feet, so you've still got 30 feet to go before you reach the edge of the map. So
I don't think there's much we can do.
If it's Kay doing the dispelling, he has probably the best chance of inching a little closer.
True. Okay, so what...
Does Kay have the disguise thing, or was that temporary? I don't have a good handle on how Kay's abilities work.
I think he had the thing where he could disguise himself as stone.
I could blend in better with rocky terrain.
Okay. So you could inch along the cliff face, 30 feet, dispel the fire.
Then we run.
It would just be a question of, does that get everyone's attention?
It's
Because if
the
it
three
doesn't,
people in the
it's-
tower we want to distract, and the imps.
There's some imps there as well, right?
There's
Mm.
an imp. There's one imp per tower, but they're not flying. They're currently just kind of perched on the inside, staring at the fire from what you can tell.
Okay, third
Just being little mischievous creatures.
third level magic missile provides me 5 dots.
Okay, so what are we doing first to initiate this plan?
I mean, are we all okay with this plan? It doesn't feel like we've got anything else, so...
I mean, look, I think we could swing round to the wagon path, which is liable to have the least amount of routes on it, and follow that in. I don't think that's a bad idea, but it runs the risk of us getting noticed. But we'd only get noticed further away from the actual camp.
The problem then becomes where you flee to. Because your current only safe location that you have, that you used to sleep in, was a cave that's against the rock formation about 2 hours east of here.
Mm. And we don't know what condition the people we're going to be rescuing are going to be in. Third level. I can possibly banish up to 5 people.
Well, I mean, that's a pretty solid use of. Yeah, no, that's
But
cool.
it costs a lot for me to do this.
Yeah.
Didn't you use your banish room?
It's one of my.
Oh,
Actual
it's just one of your actual ones. So just going to take
Yeah.
spell points. Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's why it's going to cost me a lot. Because that'll be with 3rd level, so that'll be 5 points. So that's going to cost me nearly a third of my spell points cast.
What did you say, Simon? What did you say? You had to be right back.
I assume so.
Okay. So who's doing what to initiate the first step of the plan, if that's what you're doing?
Okay.
The area we're in is sort of like a greeny brown. Is that
Heathland,
correct?
greeny brown, yes.
Yeah.
With large
Could
shrubs in areas, yeah.
Yeah. Could I hold up the toad skin tent, like with a sheet of it, and try and use that as like the slightest bit of camouflage? Because reasonably, it would be a brownie.
That would be a viable one, yeah.
Yes. So I imagine it would make sense for me to go first with that, acting as sort of like a visual blocker. If it hides me, then everyone else can hide behind me and be basically invisible in comparison. It's not ideal, but you know, it is what it is.
I might be able to help you with that. I've got alter self, so I could make myself look like a bush, walk alongside you. It creates a larger area, but would look more natural, especially at a distance on the backdrop of potential bushes.
Would diversify the visuals a bit. Could break it up. That's the main thing you want to do with camouflage. Okay, yeah, that could work. What's your stealth like?
+3. Not the worst.
I'm sitting on +2, I believe, which you know isn't great, but like you say, not the worst.
Okay. So shall we start heading towards... Are we going to send Kay ahead along the edges of the rock to dispel, or are we going to keep him behind us and then as soon as we hit?
I think keeping Kay with us is not a bad idea.
Okay.
Because absolute worst case scenario, if everything else goes to shit, my plan is to fastball special K into the camp.
Hang on, what? Oh god.
What?
If
sense.
K is okay with that, but that's up to Sudz.
Okay. Yeah, that's...
Do you have anything to say about that, Sudz, or?
Sounds like a disaster waiting to happen.
Honestly, I don't know anymore.
Okay. Kay's lost for words.
Wait a second. I don't know how long this lasts. I need help.
How long what lasts?
In my consumed.
Okay, which bit?
This one.
That one?
Be ready.
Yes, because I didn't get anything for that.
Oh, because there was no thing mentioned. Right.
Sorry, I'm back.
That one should be 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Yes, just keep in mind that if you were to end your turn in a solid object, you would take damage and be shunted to the nearest available space.
Well, I have learned a thing. If worst comes to worst, I can just walk through the wall.
Well, that certainly would make things easier. But still, our main focus must be getting there. Vinny,
Mm-hmm.
we can manage to. I'm going to use my toad skin tent tarp as a slight bit of camouflage. Put it at a steep angle and hide behind it, and all of us should be able to move forward with that. Cat will use Alter Self to give herself bush features. Therefore, we'll be able to diversify up the outline of it, which should help to sell the
Oh wait,
stealth
it's-
side.
But aren't they going to notice that?
Well, vision's a difficult thing, and what we're going to do is we're going to have Kay dispel the light as soon as we can in that process. They might see something, but they won't be able to necessarily tell that it's us.
Back.
That's the hope, at least. Also, have you got a better idea?
Not one that we found a way to make work. So
I mean, look, we had the option of going underground. We have the option of going over on the mountain. Both of those could work, but if we're going for a straight dash, this is the easiest way, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
What are you talking about? I'm just a number cruncher in the basement.
Okay. So shall we begin initiating this then?
Yes.
So, what is the first step of your plan?
Well, I guess while Romulus is getting the frog skin tarp out, I'll cast Alter Self.
Okay. Roll me wild magic. This is where everything can go terribly or amazing. You'll have to see.
Massive visibility? Is that a wild magic thing?
There
Would be
is,
nice.
yeah. It's a
Actually,
1 in.
is one of the options.
Ooh.
It would be a 1 in 50, but yeah, that one of the options is to turn every creature within 30 feet of you invisible.
we have
Perfect.
had it.
It didn't work.
It didn't
I
go?
got
Okay.
13.
So, cast Alter Self on yourself. What would you like to generally change? I believe you can change Alter Self as an action anyway on yourself, but Still?
Yes, it is.
and is it
So
concentration?
it is concentration.
Your eyes immediately disperse, and you are no longer
Shit.
you are no longer confused
Yeah, of course.
perception-wise.
I
So I-
forgot that they were.
So I will not update the camp.
You know, that is what it is. I forgot. That's my bad. Right. Oh, if we're gonna do it, I can't see anything, so let's go.
I attempt to move forwards at a reasonable pace with the frogskin tent, and I'm not planning on necessarily doing a. Simon, are you wanting a full-ass charge here, or are you wanting a slow creep towards it?
I'm thinking we should try
How
and
about
move.
slow creep until 120, at which point turn off the light and then charge?
Yeah, not. Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Because that won't buy us much time, but it should get us a bunch.
I will say visibility-wise, if this alters what you are considering, you can see the general silhouette of the camp from here. You can also see quite clearly the tower itself with the torch above. It is viable that someone would be able to see you as you get closer. So, just so you are aware, without the light, they would still be able to potentially see you. But let's see what happens.
And, again, the light is partially more distraction than anything else.
Yeah, that's fair. So, the first thing you're doing is being sneaky, correct?
That is correct.
I would
With
like...
camouflage.
Yep, I would like all of you to make me stealth checks, please.
Any advantage because of the camouflage?
This isn't going to be advantage per se. I'm going to consider these as fallbacks. So the use of magic is going to help the DC, as is your using the tent.
12.
Fuck. Do I have inspiration by any chance?
Nope. Nope. Okay, so Romulus with the natural 1.
Oh, no.
Cat, what did you get?
I got 14.
14. Vinny?
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Okay.
Also a dirty 20.
And Kirv?
12.
Okay. As you're all kind of walking and sneaking forward, there's a moment where Romulus, you kind of adjust your grip on the tent, and it's a pop-up tent. So it pops up. And you hold it there for a moment, and there's a moment where you all kind of hold still, kind of considering a muttering like, do we charge? And you look over, and they didn't seem to have noticed. Because everybody else passed. And so that means you've got 4 successes to 2 failures. And so as a result, the guards didn't seem to notice.
I hurriedly put it back down. Are we close enough? Go, Kay, go. Shit.
I'll say you are close enough. So, Kay, did you want to cast Dispel Magic on the flame?
I mean, I guess that's what the plan was. So
Okay.
I guess I'm going to.
You cast Dispel Magic. The flame snuffs out.
Because of the way my magic looks when I do something like that, I want to try and have it go up the mountain.
In this
Like
instance,
that, it grab and go up the mountain and then on.
I'll say for the flavour of this, as you cast a spell magic, it's more like you feel almost like there's an ethereal form of you next to it, and then like blowing out a candle. Because it's a cantrip, there is no magic to steal here, so you just blow out the bonfire as it is dispelled. And there's an immediate moment as there's kind of a, you note the individuals kind of, they all turn back, and you can generally see very cast over silhouettes from these individuals. So, what are you doing?
Well, I mean, they're distracted.
So you
Let's go for the
let's keep
charge. Yep.
Okay. I would like everyone to now roll stealth checks with disadvantage as you are rushing. If you have other distractions,
I
now
will try and still go ahead because I'm still a bush.
Okay. So you're going to go ahead, and Romulus, you're going to assume you're still holding out your tarp.
If that will help me, yeah.
Yep. And then we'll get to when you get within range if there are any other things that you wish to do. So go ahead and make me...
I will say, literally anyone else who has weird magic-y bullshit, do weird magic-y bullshit for distractions if you can.
Okay.
Are we? Is this disadvantage? Do you say?
Disadvantage, yes, because you are rushing this, yeah.
Cool.
So Kay and Kirv as well, please.
Sorry, yeah, I was just thinking magic bullshit.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, because you got the fear plan, which we'll be getting to in a moment. You just got to get within range for that. So, disadvantage. Cat, what did you get?
12.
12. Romulus?
6.
6. Vinny?
8.
8.
Oh,
Kay?
no.
13.
13. And Kirv?
sorry, what was the check for?
Stealth with disadvantage.
12.
12. As you are running forward, most people would, from what you can generally tell, would notice a bush moving or rushing forward. Most people would notice a folded pop-up tent, even if it does blend in with the ground around them. As you are rushing forward, the magic otherwise dissipated from the flame, the individuals inside seem to turn away. There is a moment where, where you hear this loud thud from nearby, where this section of what looks to be this large ball of sludge hits the ground nearby, rolls and kind of skids, where the sludge hauler on the tower seems to have spotted and made an attack towards you. However, with general perceptions, I will say, from what people see as you move closer and begin to prepare for the next step of your plan, the people in the tower have been distracted. The people in the tower have been distracted by the fire. The sludge hauler hasn't. What would you like to do?
How close are we?
You're close enough to do your fear plan if you wish to. So I'd say you're within 45-30 feet, closing very quickly.
Okay, if you're gonna do your fear plan, if we're closing quickly, as soon as we hit 30 feet, I will be starting to carve out the ground. So we can just run straight into the alcove.
Got it. Vinny, Kirv, Fear and Thaumaturgy. Fearmaturgy.
Fearmaturgy.
Okay.
So, what we want to make a vision of something from thaumaturgy for it to.
I was thinking the sound of rocks falling from up above them. Because again, dwarves gonna have an innate fear of that, living underground as they do. Like the sound of rock cracking and falling. That'll bring their attention up, which will be away from us. Does that sound reasonable? If you've got a visual that you think you can do with that, go for it. I am not stopping you in the slightest, but I just, I feel like if sound is what we've got to work with thaumaturgy, then why not?
Yeah, no, trying to make a loud doesn't even need to be necessarily super loud, but yeah, trying to make a loudish noise to create the fear effect seems to make more sense.
Okay.
It's possible the haulers can't talk. I don't know that we saw them attempt to do that.
We don't know.
You don't know.
We might get lucky.
Do we know how much health they have?
In the ballpark, more than the dwarves.
Yeah.
There's not
worst
really
target
much of a
No,
chance.
the demonic creatures around here, from where your experience with fighting them, they tend to have a lower defense or AC and a higher hit point count than the dwarves, who have a bit more of the inverse: lower hit point count but higher AC.
Okay. In that case, I think our best bet is hope that it can't really talk or explain shit.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it can raise an alarm, but it might not have the ability to, dictate the exact situation.
Mm-hmm.
And then just cover up our tracks as best we can as we get into the hole, and then just start moving.
Okay. So the next part of the plan was the thaumaturgy and the fear. So, what are you creating with your thaumaturgy?
If it's gonna be if it's going to be possible, I will attempt to create the sound of stone colliding with stone.
Okay. So you attempt to make that. I will say go ahead and make me a charisma check, and this will be for your spell casting, just to see how either accurate or loud or effective or well timed it is with these surroundings. Meanwhile, Kirv, you are casting fear, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so go ahead and mark your spell slot off, and what kind of save do I have to make here?
Wisdom save 15.
Wisdom save 15. The sludge hauler is going to be making this with advantage because he/they know what's going on. Well, that's a fail. The exact same roll twice. Nope. And nope. And no. So, in this instance, as this is all happening, I have to make this a disadvantage now. Okay. As you're otherwise rushing forward, Vinny, you reach up. What was your total?
Straight charisma.
Just straight charisma, yeah.
21.
Very good. You otherwise, knowing the sound of stone against stone, mixing it with the understanding of almost coast against stone rock, you mix that together in a way to make it sound like there may have been a rush of water mixed with the stone as it collapses. As you make that sound, it begins to echo out. You don't know how many individuals hear this, but as the fear is cast, the individuals otherwise let out kind of light yelps and shouts as they kind of look around. The tarp completely blocking a view of if there is in fact an avalanche. As you otherwise cast this fear, affecting all of them as they begin to go not necessarily into panic, but into a moment of self-preservation. In that moment, you otherwise get close to it. Cat, are you below half spell points?
No.
So you do not have to roll for your wild magic every time you cast Mold Earth.
Oh my god, imagine. Good disaster.
That's where...
Good job we didn't do the banish.
That's what I was considering, yeah. So, you cast Mold Earth, carving out a small doorway and beginning to carve it out again and again. I'm going to roll for additional saves for these individuals to see what exactly goes on, because they get advantage with this as no follow-up happens. Unless there's anything anybody would like to do.
I'm planning. I've got no tricks at the moment. I haven't got the stuff.
No, and I'm concentrating now on casting my spells. So it's nothing.
To
I
it,
can
it's
really-
probably
Oh
more
shit! I
expedient.
forgot one of my runes could actually just charm someone. Fuck. Well, it's not important if we get
Okay.
underground.
There's quite a lot of water that needs to go under the bridge this session, I think. I think the most useful thing I can do is try and help speed this up, the shovel.
Okay. So I will say you
Yeah.
can move with the help of that. Doing that. Kay, you said yeah, you're going to be helping with digging as well, using claws or something?
I was going to use Metamorph
To give you tunneling
Fine.
claws.
to give me tunneling claws.
Ooh, okay, very good. So, in which case, I will say... So, Kay and Kat, you're both using magic, so Kay obviously expend the spell points. Kay and Kat, you're using magic, so that's 2 successes. Vinny, go ahead and give me an athletics check. This isn't necessarily about whether you succeed or fail, this is just about expediency. So a natural 1 is just going to be a check. It's not going to be a disaster.
Okay. Just want to clarify, this is the Mold Earth shovel.
Oh, never mind. So, I forgot you got that.
I forgot that was a thing.
Yeah. Okay. Never mind. That's 3 people using magic. So in this instance, okay. So your timing from going from your 150-foot tunnel, I completely forgot you had a Mold Earth shovel. If we were considering that, you would have been able to do it in half the time, so you would have been able to make it in about 3-4 hours. But
That's still a huge amount of time.
that's still
Tunneling directly under the entire camp.
yes, compared to the
Yeah.
5 minutes that you've spent planning and running to this destination. So, during this time, as this happens, you begin to use your Mold Earth shovel, you begin to carve through, you begin to make the hole big enough. The individuals are otherwise talking above. Romulus, make me a perception check to see if you can pick up on what they're saying. They are a distance away and it is raining, so just going to be a straight roll here, but there's a chance you might not hear what they're saying.
Okay.
And because you understand Dwarvish, you might be able to hear them.
Perception, you said?
Yes, please.
That is 13.
13. You otherwise overhear them saying, just like, "What was that? I thought we were done for." And you otherwise know that one of them kind of lifts the tarp and looks up the mountain, kind of looking up and around, away from it all. Why did the fire go out? And one of them kind of walks over and says something in Abyssal. Do any of you speak Abyssal? I believe the
Hello,
answer
so
was
Cat
no from
does.
last time.
No.
No, wrong spoke of the Great Wheel.
Yeah. So in this instance, you hear them otherwise speaking in an abyssal language which you're unable to interpret. Before you, as you're otherwise watching them talking to the sludge hauler, who points out, not directly towards you, but a little bit behind where you were. As the individuals otherwise note, and one of them casts out the imp. This is over a course of a few seconds, however. As you otherwise dive into the tunnel below, I would like everybody to make me one final stealth check. This is versus the imp's passive perception, which is pretty bad, but this is still there's still potential for failure here and getting spotted.
Is this disadvantage or not?
Nope, this is a flat roll for all of you, please. This is versus an imp's passive perception, which is pretty naff.
Ooh.
Yeah, well, so's my roll.
Okay. I have a thing.
Okay.
I have a stone rune. And I
Okay.
can use that rune. Is the imp within 30 feet of us currently?
Currently he's flying up and away, so he's about 40, 50 feet up, because he's flying up off of the tower, off of the earthworks, which was already about 30 feet up. So he's
Was there any
taking
point
up
where
already.
he was just heading off the tower and he was within 30 feet?
possibly.
Because
It
my
would be hard to
intention,
tell.
my intention was to try and use this as a reaction to invoke the rune, which would force the creature to make a wisdom saving throw. If they fail the save, they're charmed by me for 1 minute, and while charmed in this way, the creature has a speed of 0 and is incapacitated.
So it would
now-
see you.
It doesn't have to see me. I just have to see it. But if it
Okay.
did, obviously if it did see me, that wouldn't matter because it would then get hit. And then, if I remember correctly, an imp has like 1 to 4 hit points.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when it hits the ground from that height, almost certainly.
So does the
would die.
stone rune like turn them to stone then?
No, it doesn't specifically turn them to stone. I think it's flavored however the hell you feel like it. It's technically a charm.
Okay.
So
I'm gonna I'll roll. What would you say it was? It was a wisdom save, was it?
wisdom saving throw, yes.
For imp. Okay. Let's see. What is the wisdom save modifier for an imp?
My DC, I believe, is 15.
Imp is apparently at the back of the monster manual, not near the front, which is annoying. Oh no,
I'm just thinking
no, an imp will be under fiend, won't it?
Yeah. I think it leaps out to like out of there to start flying up, and then just falls to the fucking ground and dies. I don't know about you, but that sounds hilarious to me.
So, you watch as the imp otherwise flies out, kind of looks at you, and you kind of give it this death stare, and it just kind of slowly turns around, looks at its owner, and just kind of keels back, and hits the ground and dissipates. It rolled a natural 1. As when the imp is resummoned in 1 hour, as to the Find Familiar spell, it will be able to convey what it saw.
Fair.
But actually, I'll roll a perception. Wait, what was the total of your stealths first, actually, just to see what.
Yeah.
To see, because if there are, I'll say if there's 2 or more fails versus its passive perception, then this will. Actually, no, because it would have to be more fails than successes. Sorry. So, Kat, what did you get?
9.
That is a fail. Romulus.
17.
Success. Vinny.
22.
Success. Okay.
14.
14, and Kat or Kirv, sorry.
Kirv thought the whole thing was very funny and rolled a nat 1.
Okay. So seeing this, she laughed. The imp is aware of your party's presence, but has been dispelled for 1 hour.
You're welcome.
As you otherwise
I
rush
fucking
into
love
the
that
tunnel,
worked.
the imp otherwise gone. The individual otherwise shouts out in a language you don't understand, but you do recognise. Look, you've all studied swears in different language because it was fun to do, so you understand that there was some heavily profanic language in that aimed towards the imp. As you cast your mulled earth, creating your miniaturized tunnel, and then disguising it as best you can from the entrance, I will say that you've all made it underground. So, I think what we'll do here is we'll take a quick break, give you a little bit of chance to figure out your next steps and what you're going to do from here, as you will be going closer to hard stone, as the mountain itself is stony and will therefore prevent passage with mold earth. So you will have to go round and figure out where you may be within the camp when you wish to come back up.
I mean, I think our safest bet is to go go and head directly to the
I'm going to be right back.
mountain side, and then follow that along until we're at where we believe the cave entrance to be. At least then we have a working focal point. Because worst case scenario, our best bet is to pop directly up and just run the fuck in. But obviously, slight issue. There might be 80 to 100 bandits that try and kill us. You get the idea.
Yeah, we try and get over to the cave entrance and get as far in as possible before we run out of dirt.
Mm.
And then pop off and do what we can from there. Right, I'm going to be right back.
Back. Hello?
Hi.
Did everybody leave?
Some people left, some people stayed,
Oh,
other people have turned to Russian.
oh
That's
no.
It is
That's lit.
terrible.
Slept.
Look, I still don't understand.
No
So,
better.
Someone said they saw you with some of the robbers right before the police saw you.
did you discuss the plan when I left, or was it you were going to discuss when you get back?
Everybody left. Everybody left.
Okay.
No plan.
And your word, Professor? Stay right there. That's where it's good to thank you. You have to open your big mouth. Where you go? You know, sir, I hope that was a very scary experience for you. I told you. Take your time.
Probably shouldn't be singing that on stream, but oh well. Okay.
I don't like this place, by the way.
Why not?
Because I can't eat anything. This is the second time we've gone somewhere that I can't eat things. I'm upset. I want to eat things. This is not where my minions were supposed to go to. Supposed to give me more stuff to eat.
Yeah, well, you don't get to... Well, technically you do. You could have chosen not to take this quest.
Well, I didn't expect everything to
Okay.
not be edible.
You were told there were 80 to... Oh, right, just because they got the black blood, right.
Yeah.
Also, like Chris,
Hmm?
you can't blame the D&D party for taking the quest that you, the DM, put in front of them. That's not how this works.
Yeah.
You
Be
can't
like,
flash
you could
money.
have not done it. That's not how this works.
Yeah, I can.
You flashed money at us.
I'm the DM. I can do what I want. I flashed
Do
a
what you
shady... a shady person who went, hey, you want to make some money? And the party was like, yeah.
Hey, yeah, money.
Right, I'm back.
Look, after this, Kay won't be the richest person in the party, okay?
That's true. That's not how that works if the money gets split evenly.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm just like, don't put the blame on us. You are the DM.
No, I...
You put a thing in front of us. We're gonna go for it.
I
That's
know.
what a D&D game is.
I know.
And we really needed the money.
Yeah, I know. I know. The DM is the only ever the one to blame. It's the players and how they act to the scenario, which is what you can let them be blamed for.
Yeah, we look, us deciding to use a fucking tent as cover, that's on us.
Look, it's one of those that, like, you were rushed on time because of the nature of how long you would have had before the festival. And there are potential ways to go about this, other ways that would have been more time consuming. But, yeah, it was one of those times I had the difference between, do you want to go to Wizard Con or do you want to deal with this sensibly? And the party wants to go to Wizard Con, so can't have nice
So
things.
now we are
Con.
It gets even worse when you get to Wizard Con and none of them are wizards, they're all just pretending they are.
I'll eat them.
I'm already working on my cosplay for it. I'm gonna go as a wizard.
Oh man.
But
the
what
best
if?
the best wizard meetup where everybody pretends to be a wizard and they are actually all wizards, but they just pretend they are.
Basically, we go for like what is the most stereotypical wizard? Who looks the most stereotypical wizard wins the cosplay contest.
And that person just happens to be a warlock.
No, that person happens to be a townsperson who just walked through town at the time the cosplay competition was taking place.
Just someone walking through. You there, you have won.
You have a great cosplay. It's like, what do you mean?
I love your wizard costume. The robes, the hats, amazing.
Look, I've just come out of the house. I needed to buy some groceries, but I couldn't be bothered to get changed. Mood. Anyway, have we got everybody back now, or are we still missing Simon? Still missing. Okay, so what would you like to do from here? And Kay, I believe, how long does metamorphosis last? Or metamorph last? It's 10 minutes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Not very long.
No, but you have 10 minutes of borrowing clause, which allows you to go through stone.
Yeah.
So that is also something you need to accommodate into your equation on what you wish to do here.
Well, Cat knows that Mold Earth is 5 foot.
Yep.
And I drew out the whole map, and I had quite a constant look, so I'm pretty sure I would have got a rough bearing to how long it was from the edge of the thing to the entrance of the cave.
Mm-hmm.
So by process of elimination, I could probably work out if I go in the correct direction, emphasis on the correct direction, 5 foot a turn, I should be able to get a rough idea of how far we need to go before we should be at the mouth of the cave.
Yeah. It will be 5 foot every 2 turns because you have to accommodate for Romulus' size. But that's including Vinny's help.
Yeah.
Well, actually, with Kay's help, it would be 5 foot a turn. So.
Okay, but Cat would be able to work out the distance, how far we've got to travel. So how many castings of this to get so many feet, which would have been to the cave.
Where are you aiming to go?
I'm trying to get to here.
Okay.
Roughly, and then I know that I need to go north.
15, 20,
I'm probably going to need help with survival.
45, 15, 55, 60. So that's 60. So that's going to take 60 feet. At 5 foot around, that's 12 rounds, which is about a minute and a half, I'm going to say, give and take, because you're going to have to probably make room for a few things. However, main importance here is a survival check. So I would like a survival check from Cat, and one other member of the party can provide, I'm going to say, aid, so advantage to Cat.
I mean, I'll assist if you need someone to do it, because I
Yeah.
can't really do much else right now.
Yeah. So Cat, I'll give you a choice here. You can either have a heightened DC or disadvantage. Your choice. Now you have advantage currently. So mathematically, they're going to be about the same. But it depends. A heightened DC might mean that depending on your modifier, you might need a natural 20.
I have a 2, +2 to my modifier. Or take a disadvantage. I feel like I'm gonna. If I take a disadvantage, that may burn me.
That will put you on a flat roll because you've got advantage.
Okay.
So it's either advantage with a heightened DC or a flat roll with a regular DC.
You know what? I'm gonna roll a Jamie dice. What am I gonna do? Well, it looks like I'm taking it with a flat roll.
Okay. Give me a single roll
Like you over there.
with a +2.
Please be good. I have got Tides of Chaos. Should I need it? I've got Tides of Chaos.
Tides of Chaos.
Oh, it went up by 1, so that's a 9.
9. Okay. Moving through the carved out caverns, you move to where you think the entrance of the cave is. You aren't entirely sure where north is, as you have had to curve around the mountain. Because you've had to go in kind of a curved shape, you don't know if you're going to be facing north or what direction north will be exactly. But you can keep going and you can find out. You are beginning to hit hard rock this far down.
Because I am following the mountain round.
Yeah.
So, as far as I'm concerned, the side that the mountain on should be north.
Correct. And you are beginning to
unless
hit
the
stone.
mountain's moved.
And you are beginning to hit stone, but you don't know if you're hitting what part of the mountain you're hitting here.
Yeah, no, that's going to be very, very true.
Okay. Am I correct in making that K can burrow through stone?
Correct. So he can begin to cut through the stone. It will just take longer. So this is a matter of
and
time.
And we need to leave ourselves time to get up.
Yes.
Well. Okay. I mean, we're pretty confident we're in the right position. So I'd say we should just head where we think is north.
Okay.
If we're off, we shouldn't be off by that much.
So we're going to start through the stone then, because, I mean, theoretically, stone is the mountain is north. We shouldn't be too far off.
Mm-hmm. How much longer do Kay's claws have?
About 9 minutes.
Okay.
But if needed, I can do it for a grand total of an hour.
Okay.
Wait, no.
Okay.
Not an hour.
Should be another 30 minutes, I think. Because it's
30.
It's 2 per, it's another 30.
Okay. In an emergency then.
Yeah.
Can I give assistance by basically using mold earth to create a sort of almost conveyor belt. So it's not the whole area.
No,
but
it's
have the
it's
mold, but it's
removing
rolling.
it to, yeah. So effectively what
Yeah.
you're doing is you're filling in the cave you're carving behind you with
Exactly.
what you're carving
But
out ahead of time. Yeah.
But it keeps it all out of his way so he can efficiently dig without having to move stuff that he's already dug.
Okay. How far do you wish to attempt to try and go into the cave?
Should we go
Well,
Answer the damn question.
I'm the one that's digging by myself now, right?
Correct. Yeah.
I'm
So it's going to take more time.
Borrow gang.
I guess I would say until, because Kay's more used to being in dark areas like this, I guess it would be until I feel comfortable in stopping.
Okay.
Yeah, make sure you give yourself time to dig upwards. as
Yeah,
well.
I'll say
Yes.
in this instance, I'll say feeling comfortable and where you feel comfortable stopping is more of a how far are you willing to just continue going? Because this is a measurement so that I can throw it onto the map and know where you're going to come up.
Well, I want to give enough time to be able to get have enough time left over to be able to actually dig out.
Okay. Okay.
But I don't know. I don't know exactly how long it would actually take to dig through the stones. I don't know.
Okay. So
I can't give
how?
like an estimated time of when to stop.
So out of your 9 minutes left, how many minutes do you want to have left when you attempt to go back to the surface?
Considering stone, let's go. Let's go. I want to keep it nice and safe and go with like 4.
4? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. There's too many variables to
No,
not give enough time.
That's fine.
Because
Okay.
if we wind up navigating underneath something.
Yeah. Digging forward and then digging up. Let's see. Go ahead and roll me an athletics check. This is not going to be necessarily whether you can or can't. This is simply going to be for a passage of time. The lower the roll, the less far you go. Athletics total?
It's a 6.
6. So, I will say minus this for squares. So, okay. Digging up. You otherwise dig up as best you can. The tunnel has to be wide enough for Romulus to fit through, and as you're digging up, just to try and make an area where you are able to escape and enter into the tunnel above, you dig up and you eventually find a patch where the rock crumbles away below you and light floods across the area ahead of you. You are inside. You don't know where. Do you wish to poke your head up and see, or are you just going to widen the entrance so the rest of your party can leave?
Want to take a look first before anything? I'm gonna double check with everybody else before I make a decision. But
I mean, yes, we can. I mean, peek it out, have a check. If you do, I might pop Jeff's head just out as well. We get some bearing.
So,
take a look.
I would like both of you to make stealth checks. One for Jeff, one for Cat, or Kay, sorry. And then I would like a perception check from each of you as well.
Oops, that's nat 20
Nat 20?
on stealth.
Okay, don't worry about rolling stealth for Jeff. Jeff's fine. Kay's got him covered. He'll eat him if he rolls a natural 1. so he's fine.
Okay.
Nope, Jeff's fine.
Cool.
Okay.
Sorry, is that all of us doing a perception check?
No. It's just Kay and Jeff
Oh,
currently.
Jeff has advantage on perception, doesn't he? Okay, so he got a 15 for perception.
Okay.
12.
Okay. Looking around.
1, 10, 11, 12, 13, sorry.
The camp was blown up.
Camp was moved.
Oh no, it's sentient.
Oh no!
It's a giant turtle! It's a giant turtle! Run!
It's not a giant turtle. Part of my map didn't properly transfer over. Hold on. You can hear the click-clacking of tiles that shouldn't be doing this. Okay, some of my tiles are somehow, for some reason, ignoring physics.
Very good.
Could everybody please blindfold themselves?
Oh, how do I do that?
Press B.
I'll make sure everybody
Ah.
does. Waiting for Harlan too.
Harlan?
Sorry, what's up?
Please press B to
Blindfold.
blindfold yourself. My map isn't properly transferring over.
I am being.
Everything went fine.
Everybody is
Everyone
blindfolded now.
unblindfold! Seize the means of production!
I'm really enjoying the sound of the chaos.
Shh! No, it's not chaos. It's everything's gone wrong.
And now we go over to stream.
No, stop
And
that.
look at Jamie's stream.
Oh,
Jamie can't see anything.
no.
That's good.
I get to see his blindfold.
That's exciting. Why would you do that?
Okay.
Because it's your blindfold.
Yay!
Okay. Lock. Bam, bam, bam. Lock! Alright! It's all fixed, hopefully.
Can we see?
Yep. Alright, everyone feel free to unblindfold now.
Oh,
Okay.
I hate this.
Alright. You have made a hole. Where's your tiles? I didn't put the map on top of them, did I? No. Okay, here they are. I may have put them on top of them. That's fine. Oh well. You've made a hole here. And currently, you can see singular guard currently watching the entrance,
he's fucked.
unaware of yours and Jeff's current position. You look back as best you can, but there is a brazier in the way, preventing you from looking outside the cave. You do not know how far in you are. Forward-wise, you can see from this angle what looks to be another brazier and some form of entrance or deviation in where things go, and will look to be more spikes and a ledge, but you can't see on top of the ledge or if there's anybody above it currently from this angle.
Okay.
Just to check, this map is now rotated 90 degrees.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, this is rotated 90 degrees because making vertical maps suck.
That's fine.
Because they hate physics.
Okay. So there's a guard just outside. There's a corridor and then a ledge so high up I'll give a rough idea of what I believe the height is.
Yeah,
And
it's
then
the
there's a
ledges
guard
aren't that
standing on it.
the ledges aren't that high up. They're maybe 3-4 feet high, but they are covered with spikes in the front, which are all carved from bone.
Oh, cool. Well, I'll relay all the information to the party. So, there's another ledge, but I can't make out if there's anyone on there. What about you, Kay? Can you see if there's anyone on there?
No, but do I'm gonna poke my head back in so they don't
Mm-hmm.
see me and I don't make too much noise.
Yeah, I'll be bringing.
Yeah.
Kevin, obviously.
So, should I try and widen the hole a little bit more and then try and take them out? Or take them out and then try to widen the hole?
Something goes wrong,
right
we might
there.
struggle to get out of the hole. As we are.
Hmm.
It should be a problem for helping you.
So widen and then try.
Yeah,
If we
I
could
can-
do with. Hmm. How much? I can't remember how much health these guys had. They took quite a beating, if I recall correctly.
As you're otherwise having this conversation, Romulus, you otherwise hear what sound to be footsteps coming closer. The rest of you hear the footsteps as well, as you all kind of hush for a moment before you hear a something being said in Dwarvish, which you understand, Romulus, where they otherwise say, "Keep an eye out. We've had some suspicious activity regarding a moving bush and some recent sudden illusory avalanches. So keep a close eye on the entrance." Alright, I'll do my best. And you hear the footsteps then begin to move away.
Which direction?
Oh, I know
To
I
the
don't
left.
necessarily have.
So, out of the cave.
Okay.
I do not have the actor feat. However, I feel like I could do a pretty good, vaguely Russian dwarf. And I'm so tempted to call out, and say, "Could have been a thunder dragon, you know," and then just throw that out amongst the pigeons.
Yeah, see how that goes. You want to?
Nah, they'd probably know each other's voices. Well, I say that. There's 80 to 100 people here. There's 80 to 100 people that could be around at any one point in here. There's no way they know each other's voices. This might be viable. I'll consider it later.
I mean, if we want to distract this guy, I can cast sleep on him.
But that might not work, is the problem.
No way of knowing, yeah. They can take a bit of a beating. I
What
can't
if-
upcast sleep by that much, unfortunately.
Well, what if I was to, shall we say, do the thwackening upon him, and then go from there?
Oh, the thing is, the only reason why I was saying about it is because if Kay's digging, there's a chance they might see him trying to make the hole wider. If we could take out the one guard that potentially can see us digging out.
I mean, I could Eldritch Blast.
I can magic missile.
Eldritch Blast and Magic Missile, they're not necessarily loud, but they are not quiet. So do keep that in
Don't wanna-
mind.
Deadly spells, either. There's a all he needs is one turn to yell. and he's in
Yeah.
trouble.
This is true.
It's true. But I
Yeah.
do have action surge.
Yeah. I will say, it takes a reaction to yell, but Surprise Round will prevent them from calling out until their turn. So it effectively nullifies their first possible turn of doing something.
Okay, should it get desperate? I think Vinny had an idea of maybe the sleep spell. If we can get him to sleep, then that gives us plenty of time to make the hole bigger, where we won't be caught, metaphorically, with our pants down sort of thing. We can then be on a much balanced term.
If
Take 'em out.
someone isn't affected by the sleep spell and they don't get knocked out, do they know they've been had sleep cast on them? This is just,
I mean,
just
they'll-
hypothetical.
No, they would know that they've been asleep. I don't know.
They wouldn't necessarily know that it's been a cast upon them.
Yeah. It only lasts a minute though, so I'd be more thinking use sleep to disable him and then stab him in the back of the neck while he's incapacitated,
Okay.
which is a bit mean, but I mean,
Yeah, the only thing that would potentially give you away is the verbal component, which can be potentially sleight of handed. So
yeah, we don't know exactly how many people are around to hear it.
yeah, and it's 5d8 hit points, and you don't know how many hit points these guys have. From the looks of it, from what you can generally tell from your cursory glance, they look to be like the casters from outside, only these ones don't have imps. Or this one doesn't have an imp, I should say.
Yeah, the imps have been known to be somewhat quite powerful and done absolutely nothing this entire thing so far.
Look, they've tried to disarm you all in attacking you lot. They've just never rolled well, and then they've been shot out of the sky by a stone rune. So, you know, leave them alone. They're good.
Okay, fair.
They're trying their best.
They're about as useful as Jeff, okay?
Don't say that. Jeff has actually come in very useful.
Yeah, he's also been very
but Jeff
detrimental.
Dies constantly.
Okay, Jeff does die constantly, but it's because I'm incompetent.
That much is true.
Okay, so...
That felt mean. I don't mean that, Jamie. I'm sorry.
I'm fine.
So, what is the plan?
Okay.
If someone wants me to just go up and kill him,
Wait,
I can
you
and will
can't
do
get
that.
up there.
The problem is the hole isn't big enough for us to get out, and I'm trying to keep Kay safe, because if he's digging to make the hole bigger, he's going to be exposed to this one guard.
I have multiple 10-foot weapons. Is it at all possible to get a hole that is big enough for me to just...
He's 20 feet away. No.
Could we get 5 feet closer by any chance?
No. This is you would be attacking from prone with disadvantage at the fact that he's on a height advantage, so he'd have 3/4 cover. If you want to try, you can, but you will block the hole and prevent the rest of your party from doing so. Currently, you are the largest party member and would get stuck should you try to do anything.
What I'm going to do, because people want me to make the hole larger so that people can be able to get out before I try and do anything with this guy. The only thing that I can think of at this current point in time is to use a biological resilience to use up one of my stony skins to give me advantage on stealth and try to, as stealthily as possible, try to enlarge this hole while he's not paying attention.
Okay. I'm just going to double check before you do this. I don't remember whether you can have multiple biological resiliences up at a time.
I only have one biological resilience up.
No, that's what I mean. So if you were to then put your stony fur up, if you would lose the burrowing... Oh no, that's right, because
it's magic.
Your burrowing claws are from Metamorph, that's right.
Yes.
So yeah, in which case... Yeah, go for it. So make me a stealth check with advantage here.
My name's Benedict Arnold. I've come to help you win the war.
Not the best rolls, but guess a 14 will do.
14. As you're otherwise kind of chipping away at the stone, kind of sliding it down as best you can as you're breaking away pieces of it, there's a moment where the guard otherwise is looking around, and you otherwise look up at him as he otherwise looks towards you, and you quickly duck your head down and cover the surface of the hole. And there's a moment where you wait a few seconds, and then chance a glance looking up, and they have turned away. They don't seem to have noticed your presence. You cut a hole big enough that the rest of your party can otherwise escape. What would you now like to do?
I'm going to look down at the party. I'm going to take him out. It's big enough for everybody to get out. I'm going to take him out while you guys are trying to get out.
God.
Okay, good luck.
Okay.
I just need to get out by 5 foot, and I can start using the Lonely Bector Corbin to beat the shit out of him, because I don't think I've sold that yet.
No. So,
I'm going to try and stealth and try and make it to that ladder.
okay, go ahead and roll me a stealth check. Again with advantage due to the terrain you're in.
Do you want us to be getting out as you're doing this?
Is
At this range, I could attempt to chuck a dagger at him if things go south.
I mean, I'd say give it a couple seconds after Kay leaves.
Okay.
Just Because I believe we would have said how far it is between where we're
Yeah.
coming out and
That's
where
right.
he is.
So, I'll say moving up, you move across the area silently. The individual otherwise not noticing you. And you otherwise climb the ladder. At this point, Vinny, I'll say you otherwise kind of peer out of the hole. You can very clearly see the guy ahead of you.
Okay.
All right.
Do I
Hmm?
do I have an opportunity to try and move now?
That's up to you. If Kay's attacking, and if you want to do something, then we'll see. Did you want to try and move?
Not yet. I'll wait to see if Kay can get him.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. How
Okay.
vertical are these spikes? Sorry.
They are, some are vertical, some are not. They are in a mishmash in such a way that if you were to run over them, you would be very badly injured. If you were to fall on them, you would be impaled.
Cool.
Because I'm just thinking, if I fail a stealth check, I could alert him.
Okay.
We'll take it.
All right.
So,
Now-
Kay.
Yeah, but if Kay attacks him but doesn't kill him, I can use the surprise round to just dash over and finish him off.
I can pull him off onto the spikes.
Well, whatever works. We can have layers of.
Should anything fail, there's a third option. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Kay.
Yeah,
So I'm just going to move
And Vinny.
as small a distance as I can away from the hole so other people can start getting out.
Okay. So at this point, Kay, are you doing anything?
I am going to be attempting to attack this guy.
Okay.
I am going to try and do this in layers.
Okay.
This is going to sound brutal, but this is what I'm going to have to do.
So first,
First, my tail is going to go from behind through his neck, trying to cut off his windpipe.
okay. So I will
If-
say, in this instance, do you wish to make this an attack of intent, therefore doing half damage with the possibility of doing another effect? You can. Or are you intending just to do full damage and killing this individual? It's up to you.
If I remember correctly,
Mm-hmm.
from the last time we fought these guys, I couldn't kill this guy. Couldn't kill one of these with a full attack. And I want to make sure that everybody can be able to get out without him alerting anybody else. But remembering the way that they cast their spells, I don't think that just cutting off their windpipe and stuff is going to be enough. I'm just going to go with full damage. I don't, because of the way that they can use their magic and stuff, they might be able to do something tricky.
Okay. Go ahead and make me an attack roll with advantage, then, please.
When was September 25th, 1780?
So, first attack with your tail hits. As you strike the individual through, as you attempt to go for the neck, the individual otherwise yawns as this happens. The tail going through, just glancing their neck, but still doing some damage. That is how much?
That's 1 plus 4 plus 2 plus 2.
Okay, and they're resistant to one of those damage types. So that is 1 plus 4 plus 1 plus 2. So that is 8 damage. Okay, that's your first attack.
Next, I'm going to.
Claw attack.
Next, I'm going to claw across their neck.
Attack with intent or damage?
This one, I feel I have to go with intent.
Okay, so go ahead, and your claw is a d6.
Oh, come in.
As you otherwise bring your
Oh,
claw forward to attempt
right.
to go across their face or across their neck, they otherwise spin the stony nature of their skin, otherwise causing your claws to glance off. Actually, what was your total to hit? It's 5 plus
5 plus 7.
7, so 12. Okay, so yeah, that does miss. Yeah, as it glances across what looks to be some form of mage armor, as they are still caught off guard. And your bonus action attack would be from...
The only thing I can think about doing now is just biting onto their neck and just holding onto them.
Okay. Again with attack with intent or damage?
Attack with intent of being able to hold on to them with my bite.
Okay.
Because I can't, I can't do enough damage with the bite.
Okay.
I really can't, especially considering the fact that I missed an attack.
Okay.
Oh, this is terrible.
Okay.
Oh my! There's 3 ones.
Okay. So, the damage would be 1 plus 4 plus 1 plus 2. So 8 points of damage. That is halved to 4 because you are doing an attack with intent. So, this is 4 plus the base of 8. So, you're intending to grab hold of them. So is this the intent to grapple?
Yes.
Okay, strength save on their part then. That is a total of 21. As you otherwise go to bite on their kind of mage armor that's underneath, kind of pulls back as the individual is caught back with all of this going on. Vinny.
Mm-hmm.
You have your held action to throw a dagger as you watch as Kay makes these attacks, this individual otherwise dodging out of the way of one of them, and the stony exterior and the mage armor otherwise interfering with the rest of his attacks. What would you like to do?
Okay. If throwing a dagger is what's available to me, then I will...
Go for it. You have advantage because you are still unseen, and you still have your sneak attack as well, so... Because Kay is within 5 feet of the individual, so go ahead and make the attack roll.
D4 for the dagger.
Yep.
D6 for sneak attack.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me another set of 2d6 and a d4. (18 plus 4). Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep. 22.
22. In this instance, as Kay is otherwise biting on you, as he's otherwise pushed off, there's a moment as he otherwise is kind of wide-eyed, and you watch as he kind of opens his mouth as if to shout before a dagger strikes just inside of the, I think it's the jugular, just below the jawline, striking up and through the windpipe as he gasps before stumbling. Kay, you have a reaction. What would you like to do here? It looks as though he's about to stumble backwards off of the ledge.
I'm pulling him onto the ledge.
Okay.
I'm gonna pull him onto the ledge and in the back.
Okay.
Back of the ledge, yeah.
Okay. Pulling him onto the ledge and against the back of the wall, away from the rest of this. He is now dead. And you watch as his body begins to slowly go black as he begins to dissolve.
Right. I'm gonna inch forward a little to look around the brazier.
Okay.
Just to check there's no one.
Go ahead and give me
line
a
of sight on this.
Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Are you telling?
Perception is 15.
Okay. As you otherwise look up, you can see that there is, from what you can tell, very much another individual there. The individual in question, otherwise lent back to a certain degree, as they don't seem to have noticed what's going on.
Okay. I'm not going to tempt fate, though. Okay. I'm going to, if I can catch Kay's attention, gesture for him to please bring me back my dagger, because I don't have very many of those. And then I'm going to press myself up against the wall and let other people move out.
Okay. I would like everyone to make me a stealth check then, please. With the exception of Kay, who at this point you're a little bit far away for me to worry about that.
Are there stalactites? Tights, is it? From the ceiling? Or...
For the most part, there are a few, but there's not a lot.
Is it smoothed out, or is there like a fair amount of like rockiness to it?
Oh,
like
that's my comment.
lumps and bumps? Things you can hide behind, should need to.
Not on the floor, no. There are
No,
only
on the
ones
ceiling.
On the ceiling, yes.
There is.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna turn around to Kirv and gesture to the ceiling. There's places we could potentially hide up here. Knowing full well that the two of us are capable of climbing on ceilings.
Sounds good to me.
Might give us some advantage for our stealths.
I will say I have already rolled. So I'm sorry.
If you want to retroactively have it be that you cast Spider Form and then use the ceiling as cover, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
Okay, Kirv, do you wish to join?
My only issue is that if I do that, I will no longer have any spell slots.
Mm.
Just remember in combat that as a Hexblade, you do have most of your assets do come from your weapon.
Yeah. So
But
I think I might take it and do the spider form.
Okay.
My
Take the
stealth
spider
is
form.
back.
Okay, so that will give you advantage, so you may go ahead and roll again. Same with you, Cat, you get 2 rolls. Romulus, you stealthing out, I assume?
Yes, Romulus, the Stealth Lord.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me stealth. And Kay, you were too far away, so yours is just a water success here, because in this instance it's the rest of them. So, Cat, what did you get?
28. I'm rolling that 20.
That's 20, nice. Kirv, what did you get?
11.
11. Romulus?
12.
12. Okay. Vinny?
Nat 1.
Natural 1. Okay. Now, amongst your party, you know that these individuals aren't necessarily great when it comes to spotting individuals. They aren't the most perceptive. So as your party are leaving, with 2 of you on the ceiling, I'll say, and Romulus as you're otherwise climbing out of the hole, the individual doesn't seem to have noticed you. However, you do hear Romulus in an idle speech. The individual otherwise says, "Hey, Dorax, what did the captain say? You said something to you a moment ago."
Oh shit. Okay, so Dorax was this guy. I did hear this guy's voice.
You did.
The captain was the more Russian one. So, am I able to try and roughly mimic this guy's voice?
Make me a performance check. What would you like to try and say?
If you want me to actually do the voice as well, could I have a sample of what his voice was?
No.
You know, before we brutally
If you
murdered
could,
him.
if you can give me a close to accurate voice of what was said, of them, I will give you a +5 to this.
It's going to take me a bit to get there. Give me a second.
No, that's fine.
I'll roll for the performance check first,
Yep.
so we'll know if there's even any point in this. Holy shit, pretty decent. I think I have a minus to it, which is not ideal.
Mm-hmm.
It is a -1, but it's still a 16.
Yeah, I won't penalise you for trying.
It was less Russian. Here we go. Captain said he wanted to get rid. There was a disturbance outside. Got people fired up.
The reply is, "Oh, fair enough. Did he say if we were going out there or if we're staying watching here?"
If I told them to go out there, they would come past here, wouldn't they?
Yes.
Nah, stay here.
All right.
Okay. Now we need to try and. How are we going to deal with this guy? Are we going to leave him or are we going to.
Say,
Is the ladder
Durax,
down
you haven't put in that recommendation for me yet, have you?
Can I do an insight check to see if this is one of those things that he's caught onto something and he wants to double check, or if it's a genuine question?
Go ahead.
Now, this is quite entertaining. I actually have advantage on insight checks because of my runes.
It's your rune, yeah.
Runes, baby! Runes! That is an 18.
Okay. He's genuinely like, oh, well, he's talking to me for once. I wonder if he's put that recommendation forward. Let me ask. He's curious.
Yes, I've put the recommendation forward.
Oh, that's good. Thanks again for doing that.
No worries. Wait, sorry, would it be more dwarvish to say it? Nay bother.
Nay bother. You haven't heard any of them say nay bother yet, but you can.
Look, as we've all established, all dwarves are vaguely Scottish, or Russian sometimes.
Or
but
Russian.
usually
It's
Scottish.
it switches between the two.
Right.
So,
and if they're a Scottish dwarf, which this one was definitely closer to, then they say things like nay bother and oh yeah, we goblin.
we shite. Alright.
Yeah, we little shite goblin.
So, what are you all doing? With this conversation seemingly quote-unquote ended, the individual is currently just kind of leaning up against the wall, just kind of looking down the cave absently. All of you are otherwise hidden, as the individual is otherwise looking out. They don't seem to have noticed any of your immediate presence.
I would like to see if I can try and gauge how far away the mouth of the cave is.
From where you are? You can see that it's probably a good 40 to 50 feet almost. So you've got a little bit of ways before you would hit the entrance to the cave. Oh, and I should probably mark where your carved hole is so you know where it is for later.
As me and Kirv are like here, can we see round this corner at all?
Well, technically you're here, but
Oh, okay, right.
so
Okay.
I'll say if you want to both go ahead and make perception checks, I'll say Cat for the northern or for the left passage and Kirv for the right passage.
Sure. $22.
Okay,
10.
that's what you can see.
Sick.
And 10. That's what you can see.
I'm a valuable asset to this team.
I will say, with that high roll from you, Cat, though, you note there are drag marks where it looks like the cart has been parked below you, and there are drag marks leading in this direction.
Okay. I will look down at Vinny and see if he's actually looking up to my direction, or I'll give a little wave so as not to give myself away, but might attract his attention.
Okay.
And I will gesture towards the drag marks. I'll like do the 2 fingers to the eyes and then point to the drag marks. Oh, that's exciting.
He otherwise kind of takes a step out for a moment, and you see he's otherwise looking up this way before he kind of shouts up in Dwarvish, "Hey! I know you're on duty and such, but could you give me a hand down here for a moment? Need a little bit of assistance moving one of them. They're putting up a bit of a struggle, and, you know, the boss called out the rest to go on shift today, so..." I'm going to roll a persuasion check for him.
Right. I'm gonna, with as much attention as I have from the party, I'm gonna gesture to people to just flatten themselves away.
Alright, fine. You know, if the boss comes back through here and I'm not on guard, he's gonna kill me, right? It'll be an improvement from before. Come on. Just climbs down, walks round, walks past. I am going to allow the party to either re-roll their stealth checks or keep their old ones. I will be rolling for perception this time, as opposed to relying on passive.
What did I get last time? Oh, 28. Nah, I'm gonna keep mine.
Is this person by person? Or is it
Person by person, yeah.
I would very much like to re-roll.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, same. I'm gonna try and reposition myself as best I can.
Okay. And Kay, you have total cover, so you're fine.
Now, of course, with re-rolls...
Yeah.
You
And
know,
you have advantage still,
go
Kirv, because you're on the zero.
re-roll.
Well, it couldn't for me.
So,
I got a 5.
Yeah, you still have advantage.
I don't suppose my performance check will give me advantage.
We'll see. So, Kat, you were keeping your 28. Vinny, what did you get?
I believe that is a 17.
Okay. Kirv, what did you get?
18.
18. Romulus?
5.
Okay. The dwarf, as he otherwise wanders around the corner, kind of stops for a moment and looks this way. And you watch as he otherwise squints towards Romulus. When did we commission a statue of a Minotaur? And the other one otherwise looks around the corner and is going to roll as well.
I go perfectly still.
Otherwise stops for a moment. Can't say I know. Must have been the boss's idea. Wanting to flavour it up. You know, she's had time like with Minotaurs before. You mean like sexually? No, I don't mean like sexually.
Oh.
Sick bastard. Alright, let's get moving these individuals back into their cages and we can go from there. Alright, you can get back onto your fucking duty and admiring Minotaurs later. And they wander into here.
okay, I'm going to. If they've disappeared, I'm
What
going
did
to
you
come
say,
over here.
Kay?
Well, time for Kay to join the ceiling crew.
There.
Oh yeah, that's true. You acting like monkey bars with your claws, yeah?
Ceiling crew, hi.
So I'm assuming Romulus is going to relay that interaction, because I mean I'd ask him.
It's
what
up
was
to
that all
him. He hasn't said a word this whole time except for
about. No,
Dwarvish.
He's actually become a statue.
Sorry, what am I doing now? I am so... Okay,
What did they say?
So they need help dragging something over there. Also, I convinced that one to not come this way. Also, they think I'm a statue, so if I'm not here when they get back, they're going to know we've gone. But that it was...
Oh,
That's
time to
cool.
go
Hang on,
investigate.
why did they ask? Is there an absence of guys in here? Then.
I don't know.
Look, what?
Roll me an intelligence check, Cat.
All right, let's go. Intelligence.
Sorry, I've got to be right back.
That's right.
14.
14. Your brain kind of going through, is there an absence of people here? There was an estimate of 80 to 100 individuals here. You
It was
saw
more that
about 70 outside. It were either working on patrol, working the car or wagon, whatever was going on there, or in the camp outside, including the various demons. You've seen 3 people since entering here. And your brain kind of ticking over goes, if there are some that, you killed previously in a group of 6, plus the other group that you were hunting and their numbers were bloated due to these mirror fiends, there's probably not that many in here.
If they're pulling guys off of guard duty to go and help move stuff, something tells me there's not a whole lot of guys in here.
I'm gonna go investigate what they're moving.
Yeah. Well, I'm assuming it's the bodies or something
don't
that
know,
come in the
but-
cart.
We'll find out.
Okay. I think we should deal with the 2 guys that have just wandered off.
You're on the ceiling for this?
I am on the ceiling,
Okay.
and I still have my stealth because it lasts for an hour.
Okay. The 2 of them aren't keeping an eye. As you otherwise walk or otherwise climb into the back area, you see what look to be the individuals are currently prying what looks to be a shriveled, otherwise like all of the water has been pulled out of them, body on the wall, which has been being pulled off of a torture wheel of some form. Blood is scattered across the ground. There is what looks to be a cold fire nearby, and a plethora of blood crystals growing all around the area.
Oh, great. More blood crystals.
Actually, I could really do with a large supply of blood.
Okay, so
Yeah,
I was just
I
thinking,
know.
alright, pocket bag then.
So this is what you see, Kay. And going the other way, Kay, from what you can see,
Yeah.
you see that
I'm gonna
the
fix
tunnel
it.
goes down further, but it's difficult to see anything beyond it.
I'm going to go back long enough to explain what I have seen, and then I'm going to check out the other way. And then I will go back and go back up the other way.
Other way being down? Up.
This way.
Okay. So going back, you explain to the party what's going on, and as you otherwise return, go ahead and make me a stealth check, as the 2 individuals are currently dragging the otherwise kind of decrepit corpse in your general direction.
As I do see them come towards, I do stop.
Okay. So roll me a stealth check with advantage. Yeah, they are distracted, so their passive perception is lowered from what it would usually be. So, yep, you're fine. As they're dragging the corpse, they're kind of muttering things in Dwarvish, which you don't understand, as they begin to drag it up this way. Before you begin to hear kind of cries and whimpers from this way.
I will be going that way slowly after them.
Okay.
Just to make sure that there's not going to be anything hidden that we'll find.
Okay. You otherwise move into this area as they're otherwise dragging the body through, kind of keeping an eye. Go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Perception. Let us go the perception. Oh. Perception. That is a 23.
For the time being, they're all going to be the same tile, but there are 5 individuals throughout these cages, by the looks of it. They all you can see that they have all been beaten. You can see that their skin is otherwise red raw in places where they have been either whipped or dragged. You can see that they wear the clothes that they were wearing when they were kidnapped in this instance, and as they otherwise drag the decrepit corpse through, you note, what was your total, sorry?
23.
23. You note a stripped of armor dragon in one of these draconic individuals in one of these cages.
Okay. Wrecked.
As they otherwise drag the corpse, they open the cage and throw it in with the group of 3 up here. Alright. You, traitor. As he otherwise pulls the cage open and is going to attempt to wrestle Corsair out.
Oh.
Which they say in common at this point. Okay.
I see.
As they otherwise pull him out, and they go, alright, to the boss with you. You can either come quietly or we can cut you down like last time. Your call. He otherwise kind of looks back. And just otherwise walks on with one of the guards leading the way. Alright, I'm done. You can go back to guard duty now. He's going to turn around and walk this way. Go ahead and make me... Actually, no. I'll make a perception check for him. I'll make it with disadvantage because he doesn't know you're there. Because he's treating you as if invisible. Yeah, no. He walks directly under you and then walks back to his guard post. Walking past the rest of you, he looks over to see the Minotaur... To see the Minotaur statue there. Okay. And the rest of you watch as Vinny, as you're otherwise pressed up against the wall in kind of a little nook, he wanders towards Romulus. And kind of looks and stands right opposite Romulus and just goes, oh, they make these ones real lifelike, don't they? Don't they? And he otherwise turns away to look up at his guard friend.
Smack him on the back, like
you...
kill him.
Okay, I would like attacks of opportunity from the whole party, except for Kay, who's currently hanging from a ceiling. So
hey, look, I'm going for this one over here. Okay,
this poor guard's just like, oh, this is a really realistic Minotaur statue, isn't it? Why aren't you talking to me anymore? Smack. All right. So Romulus, go ahead and make your 2 attacks. Vinny, make your 1 attack. Kirv and Cat, you're on the ceiling, so you can't really make opportunity attack with weapons. So are there any spells or cantrips you'd like to use?
Using the halberd, by the way.
Using the halberd. Okay, go ahead and make me the attack rolls. You have advantage on the first one because it's a surprise attack. He doesn't know you're there. I mean, he does, but he doesn't know you're real.
Oh god, this is goddamn nightmare. Hey, I highlighted the 10. That should have done something. That's weird. Why didn't that? Okay, so I don't know if it'll hit or not, but that is a minimum of 14. 14.
Did you otherwise take the swing at him? He turns, and as he does, where you attempted to clonk him on the back of the head, you just hit the back of his armor, and there's a moment where he kind of stops, turns around and looks at you. Make your second swing. You do not have advantage on this one, as he is now aware of your presence.
Oh, Jesus. Sorry, I'm back.
Welcome back. Oh no!
Jesus Christ. Can I wait? Reckless attack. Can I reckless attack?
Yeah, I'll say
that?
you can reckless attack, yeah, because this will be the second attack you can to get the advantage on it.
Okay,
Oh,
so
my
that
word.
one's 15?
15. Unfortunately, with his splint armor, he is quite tanky. As the other ones.
Surge.
Okay, go ahead and make me 2 more attacks then, please. So, Vinny, for context, the guard finished his job over here. Corsair, they said in common to him, come on, traitor. And is otherwise leading him away towards where the boss is. Kay is currently watching, the rest of you don't know this. And this guard came back and is currently inspecting Romulus before he turned around to say to his friend, isn't this a really lifelike statue? And Romulus has just missed 2 attacks. So next 2. Dex and Surge. Hits.
Okay, that definitely hits.
Doing how much damage?
7 plus 2 plus 5.
Cool.
So 14 points of damage.
14 points of damage. Okay, hefty hit.
I could have raged for more, but there are other people that are attacking him, so I'm not super concerned.
Oh yeah,
about
Vinny, you also get a free attack as well. So this is an attack opportunity. And sneak attack will apply, so you make 1 attack with advantage here.
That's an 18.
18. That just hits because he isn't able to currently use the shield.
So yeah, so 10 on the damage there.
So 10 on the damage. Okay.
I technically have my horns.
I will say in this instance. We'll let to see if how everybody else does. If everybody else wants to whimper.
This is fair. I'll come in with.
Yeah, because the horns at that point will be. They'll be if they are lethal, then that's lethal. But you're going to be pushing him into the spikes. That's the main thing.
I didn't even think about
So, Vinny, go ahead and make me your attack roll.
Yep.
You have
One
a-
attack with advantage.
Yep, one attack with advantage.
Using the scimitar for this.
Okay. Total to hit.
Is a 9 plus 7 is 16.
16 just
Crabby.
misses versus his splint armor.
Jeez.
Okay. Cat, is there any spells you wish to cast? And obviously, Vinny, you have a bonus
Okay.
action if you wish to make an offhand attack in place of that. Obviously, you won't get your modifier for the damage, but you can make the attack roll.
And sneak attack would still apply.
And sneak attack will
Mhm.
still apply, yeah.
Also,
Mm-hmm.
just double check this actually.
Also, silent.
Yes.
Also-
No. I do have 2 weapon fighting now.
Oh, you do now? Oh, that's
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
because you have the extra level.
I'm
That's right.
level 3. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so go ahead
yeah.
and make the attack roll. In this instance, yeah, he would know where you are now, so you no longer have the advantage.
Yeah, it's fine. I will still sneak attack because of proximity, and
Yep.
he's the only enemy, and
Yep.
I don't have disadvantage.
Mhm.
And this is with the short sword.
Mhm.
So the slash couldn't penetrate, but I'm going to go for a stab.
Okay. That was a 15. As the slash otherwise glances off the armor, you otherwise pull back the short sword and jab it into his gut. Yeah. In that moment, as Romulus is about to hoof him, the guard collapses to the ground. As he otherwise kind of lets out a light, and kind of leans forward as he has been stabbed and cut to pieces.
Body in the hole.
Oh.
See, now this makes me want to just go ham on this guy here and save Corsair.
We don't know what.
Save
We
Corsair.
don't
That
know.
is an interesting.
He
turn
was
of
in a
phrase.
cage.
And he
So
can
it is
stay in the
saving.
cage until I get my money.
Well, he's not in the
Yeah.
cage anymore. Well, I will say,
They're
the-
taking him to see the leader.
yeah, so Kay, this is up to you what you want to do.
That's fair. As
Oh.
much as I joked, you save him if you want to save him.
Welcome.
I will go with what you actually want to do.
Kay has nothing against this guy. Yeah,
Fair
Kay understands that he was hiding
He-
stuff.
He was trying to, scam us out of some money.
We don't know that for sure. We just know that he.
We
We
didn't
verified
give
it.
the
He
we did
definitely-
verify it with detect thoughts.
Yeah, so we
What was
know.
Yeah.
Anyways. Well, I guess Kay wasn't a part of the conversation when you guys talked about that. Kay stayed in the room with us. So, either way, Kay has nothing against it. So, Kay wants to try and save Corsair.
Okay. So, go ahead and make me a stealth check. This isn't versus the guard, this is versus the prisoners, who aren't necessarily going to be quiet if they spot you.
I still have advantage.
They may start asking for your help, which they don't, because they don't know you're there. They go back. They go back to their whimpering and cowering. Okay. Now, Chris has to remember how the map is laid out to know what he needs to delete. Okay. As you otherwise climb through, you see what looks to be the large section of corridor opens up once again to a further section here, where you can see Corsairs otherwise being led through an area where the spikes get rather thin close to the wall, and you note what looks to be, I need 2 of these guys now instead of 1 because it's closer to the end. 2 of these individuals are currently standing, kind of keeping guard.
I cannot do that now. I was hoping to catch him right there, but I'm kind of glad I didn't. So, there's nothing I can do to save him by myself. Yeah, I am going to. I'm gonna go back to the rest of the party because I can't fight all of these guys by myself.
Which
That's
route
just
are
something
you
I can't.
taking?
I'm gonna take the same route that I already took
Okay.
because
You otherwise
I'm
head
not.
back. You see the party folding and cramming a dwarf in the hole, as I believe was suggested by
I
Cat.
mean, I will say we should probably get rid of the other dwarf down the hole as well.
I
Okay.
believe
He's hidden.
body's melting at that point.
Oh yeah, that's
Oh,
true.
yeah.
The body. Yeah, that's
bodies
true. The
melt.
bodies are melting. So yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
No, you,
I mean,
Okay, shovel the goo into the hole.
yeah, I believe the goo eventually just dissolves into nothing, but that might take
yes.
time.
Yeah, it does take time, but yeah, that is
So
something you could
hide that in the hole is not the worst idea.
You know,
I have returned.
Welcome back. What do you find?
Corsair.
Huh.
Oh,
Cool.
it's still alive.
It's alive.
He's
They
captured.
I guess we should save him.
There's a
yes, I mean,
problem.
What's that?
They called him traitor.
oh, so he's probably one of them that decided to. That might be why he was trying to swindle us out of the bounty.
I mean, maybe he might have just sold us out after they caught him.
They're
That-
also taking.
Oh, that's
not a
true.
good option,
Could be talking
but-
about him as traitor to trading guard. Ah, it makes sense.
They're also taking him to the boss.
The boss is still here?
Yes.
Interesting.
Well, it looks like we have a target again.
Hmm.
What direction were they in? Was it the way you just come from, or do we just keep following this main? I'm assuming this is a wider course, so I'd assume this is the
Yeah,
main.
yeah, yeah. From your vantage point, I'll say you can see that the corridor goes down a ways. Just so I can delete this. And you can see that it goes down a ways and there aren't additional guards. They would be positioned on the platforms. But someone took care
Okay.
of that.
Would I have caught a glimpse? Oh no, because he would have come back.
No.
But yeah, no, that's cool.
Can go that way. I point. Can go that way or that way. There are prisoners up that way, but if they see us, they might not be quiet.
As brutal as this sounds, I think we should leave the prisoners where they are at the moment. Because the last thing we want is prisoners running around and then potentially getting killed.
Yeah.
If we can deal
They
with
should
the
be, yeah. They should
threat,
be safe where they are for now.
The
deal with
only
the threat and then
thing.
escort them out.
The only thing is that there are 2 magical casters up that way.
Are they by the spikes?
They are, yes.
I'll deal with them.
At both.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with you just to make sure it goes well.
Okay. Then, yeah, that's the plan. So go forward, and I will deal with them.
Do you want the rest of us to come and back you up in case something goes wrong?
I mean, by all means, you can do. I'm planning on pulling them onto the spikes.
Yeah, it's a good plan. I mean, just in case it doesn't
Nah.
turn out right.
Sometimes
I was
you need
going
an
to.
additional spike. Also, I really overexerted myself trying to kill one guard, and I hate it.
Well, I mean, he didn't get any warning out, so you did a good job of making sure he was good and dead. Okay, let's go deal with these guards.
He thought you were a statue.
Weak.
Yeah, well.
Well,
Well, I think that concludes a rather successful session, don't you say? And I think that is where we will stop for tonight. As Corsair, the traitor to someone, is led off to meet the boss of the operation, who the party have still yet to meet, apparently, despite the dwarven individual leaving early. The party prepare for their next move and what they're going to do next time. So, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed, and we will see you next week when we see just what the party is capable of doing in terms of committing war crimes. Thank you, and bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.